Going into 2026, I thought that just like any other new year, it would be a new beginning. New things, new people, new opportunities, new hobbies. But due to how 2025 went, I guess that was just my optimistic thinking. And as we approach the end of January, I've only realized that things have gotten even worse, and that the illusion of a new year is basically always false. Although I have known that for however long I have developed a conscience, it never really truly stuck into my mind, and it was more of a coping mechanism, or to be exact, just one way for me to feel like I'm not following the norm of, oh, it's a new year, we've got New Year's resolutions and goals and whatnot. I've always tried to deny that and thought that New Year's is just another day. It's just the tearing of one new page on the calendar. And I guess I was just trying to look or feel like I'm above everyone else or the masses. And I was reminded of that pretty clearly due to how things have been recently. And if anything, I have kind of took a break from gaming for, I'd say, about half a year. Of course, I still do play like one or two sessions once in a while, and that's usually during the stretch of say a month or two. So I have basically stopped playing, and I also have started to drift away from my previous circle, my friend group. And it wasn't due to me not liking them anymore, but it was more of just life steering me that way. So the appearance of new responsibilities, burdens, work, and just trying to improve myself and trying to get out of a tough time has made me somewhat distant from my previous friend group. And I think that it's not really that bad of a thing. Of course, outside of the feeling of loneliness, I do feel like at the very least I'm being a little bit more productive with my time, because the previous circle that I had was not that healthy in a way. They weren't inherently openly toxic or anything, but they were not trying to improve themselves, at least from my view. And every time the conversation about self-improvement or career and future planning comes up in one of our conversations, most of them would either stay silent or just brush it off as a later thing, or just outright change the topic, or it would be really noticeable that they're uncomfortable with it. And so, aside from me drifting away, I feel like, well, not to sound cheesy, but there's been sort of a divine intervention to put the final nail in the coffin and telling me that, okay, this previous group no longer serves you anymore, so it's about time you leave for good. Because for the past 6 months, it's always been a slow drifting sort of thing, and I would maybe still talk to them once in a while or go out with them or play a game or two, but it's starting to get less and less. And I guess what just happened recently, although it was quite painful and disappointing, was, in my opinion, just something that naturally happened in order to tip the scales and show me that I hopefully did the right thing. Because there was a small incident regarding this circle of mine where there was a mole who sort of, well, I don't know if it can even be said leaked out, but during one of our conversations with a couple of the friends from the group, not all of them, we were out during lunch. We were talking about more personal stuff, and then I thought that, it was a safe space because they are my friends, they're my close friends. I've been friends with them for 5 years, 6 years, especially because how the friendship started pre-COVID, well, basically during COVID. So I thought that, we had formed a strong bond through hard times and I could trust them and that our friendship goes deeper than that. But to my surprise, a closer friend of mine in that circle, just one, told me that at the very same night after we went out, they were, at least one of them were talking about me and my personal stuff in on Discord with everyone present. Well, most of the circle anyway, guys and girls alike. And they started talking behind my back and bad-mouthing me and whatnot. And I thought that I wasn't even, the first emotion I felt wasn't even sadness, but it was more of disappointment, because I thought that our friendship was deeper than that and that they would not judge or make assumptions based off of someone else's words about me instead of listening to my actual explanation about what the current situation is. But after I knew that that was the fact and that they didn't even take the agency to try and listen to me first, but immediately just make assumptions and opinions of on that matter, especially since it's my personal stuff and more private things, I just decided that, okay, it's very clear that those people have shown their true colors and basically kick a man while he's down type of thing. And yeah, so I just decided that I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna try and explain myself because it's useless, because they've already formed their own opinions of me based off of the words of others. So I'll just quietly I'll quietly leave and just move on with my life. And now that I think about it, sure, I felt a little bit sad, a little bit disappointed, but at the end of the day, I don't think that there's any loss whatsoever with me leaving that group. So yeah, that was just one of the main, I guess, obstacles that I've been faced with in this new year, in this first month. And I've been really seeing things in a different light, and I've tried to introduce gaming back into my life because of, sometimes I just feel like I'm scared that I'll lose the old version of myself. But it never really worked out how I wanted it, because I would just boot up a game and within 5 minutes I just switch it off and question and think to myself, like, why am I even doing this? I could do so many other things that are way more productive. And I just stopped. But very recently, just yesterday, I kind of gave it a new meaning. And instead of playing a game not to lose the old version of me. I'm trying to play a game for the new version of me, as corny as that sounds. So I just saw that there was a Square Enix winter sale or whatever on Steam, and saw that one of the games on my wish list, which is Final Fantasy VII Remake, was on sale for 50%. So I just bought that, downloaded it, and played 1 hour before going to bed, and it was one of the best times I've ever had. Because recently I've been coping with different less healthy methods in terms of dealing with stress and fatigue and work and all of that, and I'm just trying to introduce healthier versions back into my life. And yeah, this is also a part of me doing that, because I've always wanted to, well, I have created content in the past, but to no avail, whether it's because of a lack of consistency or just a lack of motivation maybe. But I took the agency to just hit record and say whatever I want to say. I won't even edit this that much or cut it or anything. I'll just leave it as raw as I can, so that there are no hurdles for me to even post this. And I'll probably just leave footage in the background running. So yeah, I hope that this can be something that I fall back into and do again, instead of just being a one-off thing like I have always done throughout the years. And I just hope to be able to use this as a way for me to, I guess, journal my life in an audible format, and maybe even expand to different things in the future. But I do not want to talk too much about the future for now. I'm trying to focus on the now and focus on the present. So yeah, that's it for today, and I'll see you next time.